Huckleberry. Alright, let's do it.
See, I just think of Shania Twain. Hello and welcome into this Monday's
Shania
edition.
Twain was in Scotland.
Was she, yeah?
Yes, a couple of days ago. I know about that. I wasn't there. She is in Scotland.
All right, fellas, let's go. That's what it sounds like. Okay.
Sorry, Stephen, I cut across you there in your glory. Do you want to do the intro again?
No, it's fine. Listen, it's okay because when you hear this on the podcast, it's gold, isn't it? So we'll start again. Welcome on in to this Monday's edition of Entertainment News, folks, here at Movie Burner Entertainment. I'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here on our YouTube channel, our Twitch stream, and of course our Spotify podcast if you're listening on in. And we've got 3 topics we're going to be talking about as per when it's both of us. I think
it's a bit 6 when it's me.
Friday, I think it was 40 minutes each for
it was,
each,
yeah.
Topic.
I'm just blessed to be here, Stephen, because I could have been in jail just now.
Yeah, you could have done.
Because of Mackie D's and Just Eat making an arse of my order. And I did go to the restaurant, I did confront them. And if they'd ordered, I says at the time I was like a tailless monk. That was the restraint I was keeping internally. But I could feel the blood pumped in my head though, and I was ready for fucking snapping them.
Talking about McDonald's, John, I did watch. It's on Netflix now. The Founder, the Michael Keaton film, a fantastic movie.
Customer service is not like that anymore, sadly.
Have you seen the film? I mean, I know it's about 6 years old now. I think Kevin may have reviewed this.
It was
one of the first. No, I've only seen it the other day there, John. I've not seen it before. I thought it was you. I think it's Kevin. Great film, yeah. Fantastic.
Search that up.
Really good.
Is there a means of which
I think there is a search function on the website. I did add one in today. I have been tinkering with the site, making it a lot more.
Oh, you did say, Stephen, yes, because I tried the other day.
Yeah.
Hadn't got there. I searched up. Save data. Game over, man.
There we are. So,
what was it called? The Founder?
The Founder, yeah.
Let's try and find. I like that keyboard. It's so much better. Yeah. It was Kevin McLaughlin.
Yeah.
McLaughlin. What a poster, incidentally.
Yeah. It's a great story, John.
Michael Keaton, eat your heart out, mate.
Yeah, a fantastic one.
Yes. Yeah. Risk taker, rule breaker, game changer.
Yeah. I know you've not been on the website, John, but I did upload your articles earlier. But anyway,
I'll leave that to you, Stephen.
Yeah.
That's your domain. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, I've added a box office section for you're the box office king when it comes to figures and stuff like that. So it's best to put all your news into there. So there's your latest news that I put up.
Oh, thank you very much, Stephen. I appreciate it.
Work hard. So it's I don't know what these clouds are for. Must be an error in.
It'll be the internet in here again. But we're streaming, so all's well ends well.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about 3 topics anyway.
Yes.
And the first topic we are going to talk about is RRR. Again, I've not talked about RRR for a little while, John. I think we exhausted all avenues when it was we're talking about everything about it.
We've done that with Joanne as well. We've not even seen it yet.
S.S. Rajamouli's dog's neighbour. We're talking about Joanne.
Oh.
Did you read this about Joanne? I've not fucking seen it yet. It feels like I've seen it.
It's got to the point people are asking us, have you seen it?
Yeah.
I'm just embarrassed to reply, no, I've not seen it yet.
That's like, were you in it? Were you there? That's like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
So it's like,
you were intoxicated on a flight to Boston. Were you there?
Yeah, were you there? Yeah.
I wish I was there, Johnny. I fancy getting out on a night out with Johnny.
Yeah. Really?
The guy's a lot fucking older than me, but just getting out and getting steaming, man. Drinking whiskey and large mega pints of red wine and just having a great time. He's an older, sort of grizzled gentleman now, but the same age as my parents actually, maybe a little younger.
That's crazy, isn't it?
He's a little younger, but I think he'd be some laughing at it.
I don't think about him that way. I always think about him the way I remember him in the late 80s. Early 90s.
I don't remember that, Stephen.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't. But, it's just... People sometimes are just sort of trapped in time, and that's the way you remember them. But, it catches up with all of us. So
went down a rabbit hole with the NFL again last weekend. The Pats are on tonight. They were shite last weekend. They actually went. They came back and did all right. And that took me down a rabbit hole, Stephen. And it was much similar to what you've described there.
Yeah.
Looking at the teams from 2017, 18, 19... and thinking, fucking hell, those were great days. Danny Amendola, Jules Edelman.
The Halcyon days.
James White, Tom Brady,
John
Gronkowski.
We talked about Rajamouli and what his next project is going to be a few months ago. I think we might have got it off some article. in terms of what he's going to be doing next in terms of Western cinema and what his next step would be. But for the time being, according to Deadline, this is an exclusive from Deadline.
Oh, the fact it's on Deadline, incidentally.
Yeah, it's great, yeah. But this is the sort of pull this guy's got now and the attention the guy's got. And I think this is why he's taking advantage of the situation, John, to give us a feature about the origins of Indian cinema. And this is a great time to do it, I think.
If you've clicked on this thumbnail, you'll see that, Stephen, I've included an image of Raja Harishchandra, which is, from my brief research, the very first Indian film ever made back in 1913.
It's incredible, isn't it?
110 years ago.
Yeah.
Silent film.
Rajinikanth in it?
Fucking probably was. Raja Harishchandra. Now, if he's doing a biopic, as they like to say in the States, about the origins of Indian cinema, then surely it has to be about Raja Harishchandra.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be, John. It could be. You could be onto something here. But S.S. Rajamouli is currently assembling a production team for a new movie about the birth and rise of Indian cinema. Rajamouli, who RRR racked up an Oscar win and over $166 million worldwide, is not directing. On the other hand, at $130 million, RRR is the third highest grossing movie in Indian cinema. Rajamouli is presenting, which over in India is a bigger title than producer on a film, though akin to how Hollywood views the role of a producer. We've seen that. Tarantino's Hero. It wasn't Tarantino's film, but he presented it.
Yes.
It's a Jet Li film, and it was okay.
It's a good way to drum up interest in a movie,
I think it's just given his validation, really, isn't it? So, I don't know. Producer...
I like this, though, Stephen. Yeah, I like what it means. It means that there's going to be a degree of gold standard excellence associated with the film, because S.S. doesn't fuck around. The guy knows what he's doing. Also, it shows that there is a keen interest in the story from this guy, and that he's going to put some sort of touch on it. But it's also good for me because it means that he is potentially seeking out the next era of talent in terms of the director's chair, and maybe picking out an up-and-coming star and honing them and giving them this platform, using his name, presenting, to potentially catapult them to newfound success and maybe a new career.
Yeah, I mean, so the new project, it's not got a title yet.
I don't know who directed that Jet Li movie that you spoke about, whether that would...
I don't know. Though reps for Rajamouli promise it's a magnus opus telling, which will be told on a huge scale and canvas. John, I was wanting to ask you...
sounds interesting to me.
How do you construct a film like this, the history of Indian cinema? How do you do that? How do you do it, like chapters, or... I don't know how you format a film like that. You know?
Steve, we know that if there's one thing India succeeds at in its films is multiple timelines and telling the story really succinctly over multiple timelines. It doesn't get overly convoluted. They don't hold your hand either. No, but they take you through this journey, and it's just...
it could be fantasy, though. You think
it could be, Steve? I was thinking off the top of my head.
I know he's not directing, John, but
if it's a biopic, though, then
I mean. Yeah, but
there's not much. But we did see with the Elton John,
I was going to say Rocket Man. I couldn't remember the name of it.
Fantasy elements in that movie.
Yeah, it was just sort of montages.
He was on fucking drugs, wasn't he?
Of going through time, if you like. It was almost like a sort of visual timeline. And Rocket
but there's
Man.
so much.
And I think perhaps
potential.
maybe that's what they could do here as well. With just adding those visuals in.
Well, I think the important thing, Stephen, is that sentence there, right at the start: the birth and rise of Indian cinema.
Yeah.
The rise aspect is the most important one for me, because you've got the birth, which could start with Raja Harishchandra and the trials and tribulations of making the very first film on the Indian subcontinent. But then rise can encompass a great many things. That could be multiple eras, decades worth of filming.
Yeah. We
could make a huge jump to the 70s to the 80s. We could see Rajamouli in some vein doing his thing. All of the innovative and sort of inspirational figures throughout Indian cinema, be it actors, directors, composers, being covered in this movie. It could be an absolute epic, Stephen. 3.5 hours.
Timing's got a lot to do with this as well. S.S. Rajamouli, household name worldwide now, after the success of RRR. Is this a project that he's sort of kept in the back burner, waiting for the right moment? Because I think if S.S. Rajamouli does this prior to, before RRR comes out, it wouldn't get the eyeballs, I don't think, from the Western sphere. It would from people like ourselves because we've watched like Bahubali, etc.
I'm just looking at Bahubali here. We'll get into that in a moment.
Yeah.
It's a fucking TV show coming out.
A TV show, yeah.
A prequel
Netflix.
before the beginning.
Netflix. Oh, interesting.
That sounds very
A new
intriguing
cast,
to me.
obviously, yeah.
Yeah. But
Although, it's your man, the fourth from the
BG
next one.
Him?
Yeah.
Him there? Him there?
I'm just wondering who he is.
Not sure I don't recognise
who
it.
do you think he could play?
We'll see if I
Maybe
can.
a bald-headed man? In
Katapa.
Bahubali, yeah. He does look like him a bit.
Katapa was a class character, he really was. No, the reason I'm discussing that is he's playing this, or doing this producing role, SS, for this presenting role. I thought I'd go into his filmography. Yeah, there's another TV show, but that's an older one.
69 episodes from
This looks like
2017.
animated though, to be fair.
Yeah.
He's not done many
The Lost
producing
Legends,
roles.
yeah. No,
He's only
no.
ever done 2, and one of them is connected into one of his stories in Bahubali, and the other one that's soon to come is also connected to Bahubali. So it's a step away from the sort of directing gig that has really framed his career. In the most part, 16 directing gigs. Actually, that's a writer, 12 directing gigs he's had.
I've got a
over
feeling, John.
22 years.
I think it could be in chapters and we might get multiple directors.
That would be very cool. Stephen, I'd love to see a TV show. This would be brilliant for us. We've done a lot of dives into the likes of Sovereign, Johnny Camp, Telepathy. Also, we're in the process of looking at Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah.
But if this is done right and it's a real biopic about the rise of Indian cinema, and if it is going to be a story that traverses 100+ years, this would be an excellent educational tool for someone like me and also you, Stephen, who are into Indian cinema.
That's the purpose of it, though, John. I think
Yes,
Rajamouli knows his stock is high at the moment. He knows if he puts his name to this project, it is going to draw attention, not just in India, but out with. And I think the timing of this is important. I think it's deliberate as well. I think he's going to use his newfound Western fame to introduce the history of Indian cinema to bigger masses.
What was the name of that superhero film that came out last year? It wasn't
Brahmastra,
superhero, it was sort of
yeah.
mythological. I
Brahmastra,
dare
yeah.
say that. It was a true story. Because I know people come after us. Brahmastra, I know SS was very passionate about Brahmastra, and he obviously backed it. He went out and helped in the promotion of it. So he's been doing that recently.
Yeah.
He's been using this platform that he's now got. He's a pan-Indian director, hugely successful, widely respected now in Western spheres as well. And as I spoke about before with Telepathy, Shah Rukh, guys like Seb Vettel, Lewis Hamilton, I'm sure there's other ones off the top of my head, using his platform, his influence, for good.
Yeah.
Try to help stories he's intrigued by get as many eyeballs, build as much momentum as possible. And we're seeing it again with this movie, potentially Indian Origins, cinema origins movie, biopic. He's not directing him himself, but he obviously is passionate about it and he's pushing it and he's going to produce it. I just hope the director's a new director.
I think it'll be
giving it a chance.
John.
It could be.
I don't
You may
think
be
it'll
right,
win.
Steve.
I think that's why he's not doing it, because I think it could be to bring through the next generation of filmmakers, John.
Could be.
And actors, because I mean, maybe it is bullet pointed. Yeah, it is big moments in Indian cinema through the years. That
I mean, magnum opus. What does that tell you?
It's a very hard thing to sort of construct, to even think about. Where do you start? I mean, I suppose you start with the first movie, but how do you carry that through as a journey, cinematically?
You see, when I think of magnum opus, I think of Das Boot in terms of war movies. 6 hour fucking epic. It's a magnum opus. I think of Ben-Hur. I think of JFK. Things like that are just unbelievable works of art. Star-studded. Greatest achievement of an artist or writer. So this would be some sort of achievement if this is his magnum opus, if I can speak.
Yeah, it's his words.
His words. So, I mean, the career he's had today, and it doesn't look as though he's peaked.
No.
He's exponential in terms of his output. And he's not that old. I think he's still a decent age.
John, he doesn't get carried away with his fame either, doesn't he? His success. He's a very grounded director, isn't he?
How old is he? He's 49. He's so young. He's got years left, man.
He's 3 years older than me, John,
He's got another 30 years of directing.
For 50 next month, yeah.
Maybe not 30 years, to be fair. Maybe 20 odd years of directing.
It's incredible, His body of work's been... John, we were actually re-watching one of our reactions on Friday, and absolutely in tears of laughter just with our reaction as well. We were laughing at ourselves. We can do that. It was just phenomenal. I don't think any other director out there would take that kind of risk and that chance on such a unique storytelling, and the visuals were fantastic as well, John. It's a film we need to see.
Well, I'm looking through, Stephen. I think that's why it's important that he is doing
Prabhas.
Yeah, Prabhas. That he is doing this sort of presenting gig, because I've looked at his other movies and they are kind of fantasy setting and really action packed.
Yeah.
I mean, that Prabhas one I've clicked on there was drama action, to be fair.
Yeah.
But in the main, the ones we've seen, they're big, balls to the wall, unbelievable spectacles, but they're fantasy and they're sort of construct. They're not grounded, realistic stories, biopics. So this would be a real divergence for him in terms of career today. Going off from Triple R and Bahubali, right in Iya, a story about a fucking vengeful fly.
Yeah.
Going right into a magnum opus biopic about the origins of Indian cinema. It would be jarring. Yeah. It's not really what he does as a director. I think he could do it, but today it's not, from what I've seen anyway, what the guy is known for doing.
Yeah.
So him presenting it, I think, is the right choice. The production, the sort of producing side of things. But it's really interesting, Stephen.
Yeah.
And the guy, the world's this guy's oyster just now. He can do no wrong. He's in an unbelievable position. And I'm fascinated by this. I can't wait to see what comes out. I think the fact
this is on Deadline and it's an exclusive as well.
Yeah.
Says where he is in the world at the moment, John. And I think that's one of the reasons.
I'll
reiterate it. I think this is deliberately been timed for after the success of Triple R to then bring the birth and rise of Indian cinema to the Western world. Not that they have to, but I think this is the time to do it. Do it when you're hot, you know.
Drop it like it's hot.
Yeah, and I think
when the pimps try to get to you,
I've got full faith. That he'll be able to pull this off as well.
Oh yeah.
As producer, I know they say presenter. He will be able to pick the talent in terms of directing. He'll be able to know.
Evolution for him as well, Stephen. He's a great director, but if you want to build your influence, producing's definitely another sort of spoke you want to be adding to your wheel, if you like. Because it just again gives
a lot of directors and actors do it, John.
You think of Leonardo DiCaprio, Stephen? He's the one that springs out to me right away. Phenomenal actor, always has been, but he was a pretty boy and he was getting typecast, and he decided, I'm not fucking doing this anymore. So he went away and built his own production team, and he got to pick and choose the movies and the roles he was doing. And look at him now, he's went from strength to strength, widely regarded as one of the greatest actors that's ever lived. Academy Award winner, should have had more.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have had that if he didn't have the wherewithal to go and build his own production team. So it's important for guys like Rajam. I mean, I'm absolutely certain he's got his own production team by now, his production sort of studio.
Yeah.
I mean, if J.J. Abrams has got one, Bad Robot, this guy is like the fucking... He's better than Abrams, let's be honest, but he's a huge name in Indian cinema. Yeah. So he's not going to be working with production companies. He'll have his own in-house production company making his own movies.
And you think, going back, John, maybe 3 years ago when we first watched Bahubali and getting into that, it was pretty much an unknown quantity for us in terms of
I wasn't having it the first 10 minutes.
No, you
weren't,
John, you actually messaged me and said, what the is this
I wasn't
all about?
having it. And I'll tell you...
It was a bit of conditioning. It was. It really
right
was.
Up until... I don't know if it wasn't Mahendra at that point, it was the other one, the father. When he's lifting the statue and walking through the water, I'm like, what the fuck am I watching here? I'm not having it. But then I get engrossed in it and it get better and better and better. The fact he had the balls to make 2 movies with a flashback sort of middle act and trust the audience to stick with him.
Yeah.
Maybe a year they had to wait before they came back and actually conclude the story. Fucking fantastic set of films. I've still to this day I remember the ending of the conclusion. Remember all the characters.
Yeah.
Mahendra, Katapa, Balaladeva. Obviously the moment where he's rising through the clouds with that sword, I think it was.
Some epic battle scenes as well, and the score was phenomenal.
That
was phenomenal, John. Such a big production. You talk about Magnus Opum moments, you know, in film. I would say Bahubali is up there with it, part 1 and 2.
Right now, I think that is his Magnus Opum.
I think so.
That's his Sgt. Pepper's as we speak, but it could
change. The White Album, a very good album as well.
Many would agree that the White Album's actually better than Sgt. Pepper's. I would actually disagree with that. I would say the
It's
Beatles' Magnus Opum is
It's a mood thing with me.
Rubber Soul and Revolver for me are the two greatest albums they produced.
That's peak Fab Four, yeah.
Change in tone, change in sort of everything, sound, the instruments. They went away from the traditional Fab Four. Gresh, Rickenbacker, went into experimenting, casinos, Fender Strats,
Yep.
all sorts of stuff getting thrust in. They were fucking about with backward sounds and shit like that. Flanger effects were getting flung in. Just innovating in the studio. That is, for me, the two greatest albums.
Yeah.
And the singles as well, Stephen. Paperback Writer. I think it was Paperback
Good
Writer.
they didn't have to put them on the album. Yeah.
Rain.
Yeah.
That is the era for me. Just the looks as well.
It's peak Lennon, wasn't it, really, when you think about it?
You say that, but I'm in that Beatles group, as you know, Stephen. You invited me to it, and someone posted a photo. No, I don't care. I don't listen to him. I was ready for nipping one.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a cheeky bastard. Not to me, but just his attitude. Someone posted about hateful comments.
All right, okay.
And he's basically pretty bit smart ass. I'm like, mate, I could fucking eviscerate you right now.
Yeah.
I'm
like
going to
John.
refrain.
I don't let go until I've won the argument. I don't stop until I've won it. Or they give up.
Yeah. That's it. I used to be like that, Stephen, but I just can't be arsed now.
I just keep going. Even if it's weeks, I'll keep going. I'll read it and I'll write, I need to get away and think about this reply, and then
You know
I'll
what
come
doesn't
back.
keep going, Stephen?
Yeah.
KFC straws. They don't keep going. That is wilting. I'm not holding it over my fucking keyboard because it will destroy it.
Yeah.
Needless to say, that would be bad because that is a bit.
Oh, good job I've got that lid on there.
It has not went on the keyboard, but it has spurted onto the key.
John wanted to take some paracetamol with beer. I'm glad he didn't.
Yes.
Glad he didn't.
It's 2% here, Stephen. There's no alcohol in it, let's be honest.
Yeah, good little beers then, by the way. I know we had some on Friday night. Really nice. Just nice for a Friday night, but it's my round next one. We're going to move on, John.
Stephen,
Unless
it would
you've
be
got
fair
anything
to
else to
take a
say.
round off you for that, man. I mean, they literally were beers that someone in my work
Still good though, man. Still good.
got off of a delivery truck that had encountered some difficulties. I got them for free, gave me a crate of them. So,
Have you got anything else you want to say?
no, just looking forward to it, Stephen. It'll be an educational
Yeah.
journey for us if it does come out and it's authentic to what actually happened. To just look into the very humble beginnings of Indian cinema and what it's sprouted into now, multi-million dollar industry.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
So the growth is exponential. We talk about Rajamouli, but the growth of Indian cinema has been exponential since 1913.
Yeah, it definitely has, John. And, I'm just glad that we came in at a good time 4 years ago, almost, to cover and watch and review good content coming out of India. But you look concerned there about your keyboard, John.
No, it's just went on to one key, Stephen, but I don't want it dripping down the sides.
No, that's when it all starts.
That is very, very...
Slippery
It's
slope.
not a cheap keyboard, let's just put it that way.
But we're going to move on to our next topic, John. I'm pretty sure there'll be more about this Rajamouli project as the months roll by, and we'll get more news on it, what's happening, what the plans are for the production team, the cast, how it's going to be structured, who's going to be brought on to compose. Going to be multiple
Just
composers.
intrigued to hear about the structuring.
Yeah, that's
the most
really
important thing for me. Is it going to be multiple timelines? Will there be fantasy elements bleeding in? And who's it going to encompass? Will it be the sort of titan figures of Indian cinema throughout multiple years, decades,
and
century?
what it will do as well, John, when it does hit Western screens, is people will pay attention. They'll go, oh, that looks like a good film, and they'll play montage to these great films, and I need to seek that out. I have to watch that, and I think that's the purpose. It's to sort of widen and broaden the horizons of a Western audience. I'm not saying this is what he's doing it for. He's not catering for Western audiences, but from our point of view, I think it will benefit us.
Yeah.
It certainly will be an education.
Yeah.
So, we're going to move on to our next topic. Could go a topic right now. Not had one of them in years.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of them.
Nuts. Yeah.
I say that, but I eat a fucking protein nut bar.
Yeah.
It's good though.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Very good.
Yeah, but
I feel for people who can't eat nuts.
Yeah. It's,
I feel for them. They're missing out badly.
Yeah, I love all forms of nuts.
From the sweetened ones, the Brazil nuts that get fried in huge big pans.
Yeah.
Just tremendous.
With some caramel,
to the monkey nuts, to the I'm
not a big fan of monkey nuts.
The humble salted peanut.
Yeah, monkey nuts. You get them at Halloween.
Yeah, I like them.
And they're too dry for me. Do you know that problem you've got with those chips that are in a box?
I fucking can't
I
swallow them.
get that problem with monkey nuts. I can't
See,
swallow them.
The last
They
time I
dry
ate
for me.
them, I actually thought I had a problem. I thought I was developing a what do you call it? I don't know, neurological sort of disorder.
Yeah.
Where my tongue wasn't receiving messages from my brain and I simply could not swallow the chips. But then I realised it was because my brain was actually processing what was lying on the tongue and it was rejecting it like a dog rejects food. Have you ever seen a dog take
It just
food
falls out.
and they don't want it just falls out the mouth?
Yeah.
That's what my body was trying
Like
to do.
those
It's like-
onion rings on Friday night.
Yep. Sadly, he didn't reject them. I had to take it, full of his slavers. My body thought it was fucking wood or cardboard. I was trying to put it in my mouth. It's like, that
Sawdust.
ain't chips. That's not edible. Get that out.
Yeah. So if you're out there, we are looking for sponsorship. Fries to go.
McCain's.
Is it McCain's?
I think it was McCain's. Yeah. Might not have been.
It's boxed in a strange way where every individual
Compartment.
chip has its own little coffin.
Compartment. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Coffin's the right
Yeah.
word because they should be dead.
It's so
They are
weird.
dead. That potato's fucking dead. If it ever was a potato, I'm not convinced it's a potato. You know, like quavers aren't potato. They're
Constructed
fucking
from wood chips.
yeah, wood chips.
Yeah, shavings.
Fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
God Almighty.
Yeah. But anyway,
The poor man's fries.
enough of our food reviews.
Man's fries.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, they were eating better in World War One in the trenches.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fucking hell.
Fries to go. Yeah. Out
Yeah.
and in the bin.
Into
Tim,
fucking space like nuclear, man.
I went and flexed that one space. Unless it was
It would
maybe.
fucking spit it back at us.
Unless it maybe sort of.
I'm going to bring them up. I'm going to find them right now. I'll just move on.
You
Fuck
can
it.
get them up at our Tesco, by the way, John. I'll
No,
get you a
you're
box
all right,
and
Steve.
We'll do a video where you try to eat these things.
What the fuck are they called, Steve? Do you know?
Fries to go.
Fries to go.
Yeah, yeah. I know that.
God.
Yeah.
Holy
That's
shit.
it. That's
Are they
it.
McCain's? No, they're not.
No, sorry, McCain's.
Yeah, I take that back. McCain's actually make decent. Oh my lord, they've actually improved. They look decent. That's French fries, John. That's not them either. That's proper French fries.
That's them in the box.
Yeah. Oh my lord. Look at
Well,
them.
there's the individual.
Oh my lord.
Do you know they look like those things you get for chalk dips? You know the little.
Look at this.
You know the little what they called breadsticks.
Yeah.
That's what they're like.
Just look at this.
Yeah.
My body rejected these. I
Microwave
literally
it-
could not
microwave
swallow
in
them.
2 minutes. Yeah. Anyway,
It's almost as bad as those
I'm getting
burgers.
thirsty. I'm getting thirsty just looking
You know
at
the
it.
burgers, Stephen? What are the
The-
burgers called?
The microwave burgers. Oh, I don't like them. Rustlers.
Rustlers.
Yeah, I
The
don't like that.
Rustler burger.
Yeah.
Let's bring that up very quickly.
Yeah,
while we're
everything's
at
soggy.
it.
The bread's soggy and warm
Yeah,
and
tell you what's not soggy, the fucking meat.
that's like
Look at
cardboard.
this.
Yeah.
My abiding memory of this is it was raw and it was a homeless guy. And like, I don't want to shit on homeless people because that's terrible. They're in a horrendous situation. But for fuck's sake, mate, find someone to cook it. You ate it raw.
Nah, it's not
I'm
right.
like- I'm
No.
sorry,
I think
mate.
I tried one in the 90s, John. I never tried them again.
Oh my lord.
And I think it's only because I was working in a factory at the time and they had a microwave and they had a vending machine with these things in it, and I was on a night shift and I was starving.
And can I just stress that photograph's not accurate to what you actually get?
No, that's like
That's like McDonald's advertising where they show you the photograph and it's clearly been staged. When you get it, it's all battered and bruised and it's fucking disformed and the cheese doesn't sit right.
Have you seen those videos
Shambolic.
for advertising?
Yeah.
The things they do?
Yeah,
you know?
it's not real. The food
it's
ain't real.
incredible.
They're putting
Yeah.
like fucking acid in to
It's incredible.
resemble things. I'm bringing up SS
They're
Rajamouli
like
here.
painting raw meat and stuff like that, giving it a glaze
Yeah,
to
it's
make it
crazy.
look cooked.
Fucking
But
crazy,
anyway,
man.
We're not here to talk about food. We're here to talk about Tim Burton, John. Tim
Observer
Burton.
Stephen says it's 3:41 a.m. here, guys. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning,
The
good
Observer.
evening, good night. Yep.
Observe the moon for us, please.
Tim Burton slams Nicolas Cage Superman cameo in The Flash, referencing director's Axe film. I'm in quite revolt against all this. This is from Variety, John. But I've been reading this on various platforms, but I just thought Variety for a little change. It's a good website. It's good to navigate. But in a recent interview with the British Film Institute, Tim Burton discussed the impact of Warner Brothers scraping Superman Lives, which has Nicolas Cage attached as the titular hero, as well as how he felt seeing Cage as Superman and Michael Keaton's Batman in DC Studios' The Flash. No, I don't have regrets, Burton said, of the scrapped Superman project. I said scraped, didn't I? I will say this, when you work that long on a project and it doesn't happen, it affects you for the rest of your life because you get passionate about things and each thing is an unknown journey and it wasn't there. And it wasn't there yet, but it's one of those experiences that never leaves you a little bit. Following the success of the Batman movies franchise for Warner Bros., Burton was set to direct Cage as the Man of Steel and Superman Lives. I think your big man was out. I think he was in the production team. Schnepp.
Yep.
Yeah.
John Schnepp. Yeah.
In the late 90s.
A documentary about it, didn't he?
Yeah. However, the film got shelved after spending nearly 2 years in pre-production. Cage made a surprise appearance as Superman in Warner Bros. The Flash, in which he battles a giant spider as the multiverse begins to collapse. The 2023 superhero film also sees the return of Keaton as Batman, with whom Burton directed 1989's Batman and the 1992 sequel Batman Returns. Burton reacted to Cage's Superman and Keaton's Batman in The Flash, comparing the cameos to the recent trends of reimagining films and characters using an AI platform.
Don't know about
but
that, mate.
also it goes into another AI thing, and this is why I think I'm over it with the studio. They can take what you did, Batman or whatever, and culturally misappropriate, or whatever you want to call it. Burton explained, even though you're a slave of Disney or Warner Bros., they can do whatever they want. So in my latter years of life, I'm in quiet revolt against all this. I think, John...
He's lost the plot here a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it says Burton criticised AI recreations of Disney characters in its trademark style in an interview with The Independent, saying that I can't describe the feeling it gives you. It reminded me of when other culture says, don't take my picture because it takes away your soul. What it does, it sucks sometimes from you. He continued, it takes something from your soul or psyche. That's very disturbing, especially if it has to do with you. It's like a robot taking your humanity, your soul. I think he's looking too deep into this.
Yeah,
I think one thing Tim Burton has to remember, that these characters aren't his characters.
No, they're not.
They're DC's characters.
That's where he's lost me. And Nick Cage
his
was living
iteration of the characters, yes, I get that. John, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't up or down when I saw Nick Cage come on and doing his cameo, because it was very
did it
CG.
look like? Did they have long hair?
It was very CG. It looked terrible, to be honest with you. But they did it with Henry Cavill as well.
Yeah,
they did it with a few other. I don't know what that was all about.
Did Cavill come back in The Flash? Yeah,
he came back in The Flash.
Of course he did.
As a CG character. It wasn't really Henry Cavill. It was just his likeness. I
kind of agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Then if it's CG, then you are losing the soul of the performance. And at that point, you know Henry's willing to come back and play the character, and you know Nick Cage is a huge fan of superhero content, comic books. He'd have been well up for coming in and playing that character.
Now, yeah, it's too late for
yeah, because he's older and his hair's not what it was. But if you're going down the side of CG, and surely it must be cheaper bringing an actor in. I mean, if Chris Nolan can make a practical nuclear bomb, and not a literal nuclear bomb, I have to stress, but he's making a practical explosion, which is recreating a nuclear explosion, the Trinity test. If he can do that and he can fly a jumbo jet into a fucking hangar in Helsinki or wherever it was, surely he can bring Nick Cage and Henry Cavill into a production and get them to shoot a scene.
Yeah.
As opposed to underpaying a fucking CG house or whatever they call it.
It's a strange thing. It's a strange thing not to do.
Yeah.
If they're willing to do it, it just doesn't make any sense. I think this is a Warner Brothers thing to cut your nose off to spite your face type thing. They're very stubborn over there, and I don't really get the beef with Henry Cavill. I don't understand. I don't think it was anything to do with fees or anything like that. I think it's a personal thing. I don't know how vocal Henry Cavill has been over the years. I can't really recall him really dissing the studio. Perhaps he did. I've just not read it. But
all he says was the Kate was still in his closet.
Yeah.
But it's not now.
I mean, that's not anything.
He's just saying, I want to play the character again.
Yeah, exactly.
And he did.
Yeah.
And they pissed his prime away.
Yeah.
But that's an entirely different thing, Stephen. I don't get the sort of argument he's got here.
Yeah.
He's got this sort of aversion to them using Nick Cage's Superman as a cameo. I understand it to a degree, as I say, because it is CG. And obviously it's not the actual performance of Nick Cage. He's also got that personal connection with Nick's interpretation of the character. It was in production for 2 years, or pre-production. So he's got a sort of sense of what could have been with the character in that version. The whole movie he had planned, and it obviously fell through. Didn't get to realise it. And now it's popping up as like a fucking side thing in another person's story. You'd feel jilted as well if you'd put blood, sweat and tears, poured your heart into it, and then it didn't obviously come through, and then someone else is just using your sort of visual from your movie that never fucking came to fruition as a throwaway thing in a movie that cost $300 million.
Perhaps there was good intent involved in it, and towards Nicolas Cage more than Tim Burton. Just to give him that sort of platform to let people know that didn't know that there was this chance that, you know, he could have portrayed Kal-El, you know. But in terms of the actual footage and the actual...
Oh, it's pretty cool though, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's very CG.
It is, but it is still, I like the long hair.
Yeah.
It's so unique and so different.
That's the actual photograph.
Yeah, that's the actual photograph.
On, yeah. John, I remember seeing this at the time though, and you've got to bear in mind this was the 1990s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The last Superman we had on film was Christopher Reeve at this point, so it was very jarring at the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've moved on. I think a lot of people wanted to see this thing happening. I don't know, obviously, the ins and outs between the relationship between the director and the studio at that point, but obviously, by all accounts, and I'm kind of reading between the lines in that article, is that Tim Burton's not had a good relationship with Warner Brothers for many years.
And it's a shame, Stephen, because as you are reading that article off, you realise he was involved in the Batman movie from 1989. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but he's powdering it there. There's no doubt about it. He's doing shit with that hair. I can tell because I did it back in the day as well. And I'll readily admit I looked like a bag of compost had been glued to my head. I was walking about. I genuinely didn't care. I've got hair back. You've not. You're kidding yourself on, mate. It's as thin as fuck. You're just painting your hairline on like that Toy Town thing, whatever the hell it's called. Those mad Russian guys dancing about with the huge chins and the sort of pinstripes and the painted hair. That's what I looked like. Not as bad because I actually had hair, to be fair, but it was very fine at the front and I was thickening it up. That's what Nick Cage is doing. Trust me, he is. I can tell. I just know these things. But Stephen, it's a missed opportunity. And you think about it, because he did that Batman movie. He could have been Zack Snyder for DC in the 90s.
Yeah.
He could have created his own little pocket
for
DC universe.
For the Burtonverse.
The Burtonverse.
Yeah.
And you'd have had that sort of post-campy, but still get elements of it, gothic vibe going on with the darkness of Burton's stylistic sort of flair.
I think that was the aim, yeah. I think that's what they were going for, wasn't it?
They worked very cool. Yeah. I'm just looking through Nick Cage's. They worked very well, not very cool. Daddy cool. That doesn't make sense. They worked very cool. Clown that I am. I'm just getting back to the late 90s here because I want to have a sense here, Stephen, of what was going on in Nick Cage's life when he was doing this Superman Lives movie potentially. Yeah. It was quite a bit on from Burton's era as Batman, because I think it was your man Schumacher, wasn't it?
Yeah. Joe,
Did he do Batman Forever?
Yeah,
he did Batman Returns.
He did Forever and Batman and Robin, and Tim Burton did Returns.
Batman Returns. That was the Penguin one, wasn't it?
Yeah, Penguin. Yeah,
the Penguins. They were the two. Steve, for me, they still stand the test of time. Those movies.
They're great. Yeah,
they're right up there as some of the greatest Batman film storytelling you've ever seen.
People say that obviously Burton wasn't a big comic book fan, but I don't think it has to be to, you know, make these films the way in his style and stuff like that. And it still works.
Don't need to be a fan.
And he still gets the comic book element to those films, those sort of angled shots paying homage to Adam West's 60s TV series and film. You know, that sort of kind of weird angle that they were shot at. The ground was kind of gone at an angle. Just the way they were shot. They did a lot of that in those Batman films, the Michael Keaton ones that is as well, paying homage to it, and just some of the sets as well were classic Burton. You've seen that throughout his career. You go, that's a Tim Burton film. You just know a Tim Burton film.
I grew up with this guy's movies, man.
I liked them. I still do like them. I mean, I think the Chris Nolan ones are the best ones, in my opinion. But I still have an appreciation for Tim Burton.
See, I remember when those Nolan movies were out, though, some people weren't having them. No. They felt they were too gritty and realistic and grounded, and they weren't Batman.
What I like about it, though, yeah.
That's what I like about it as well. That's what I like about Batman as a character. Yeah. He's not a superhero. He's just a multi-billionaire with his hands on the state-of-the-art technology and suits and shit like that, and he can fly about doing his vigilantism.
I mean, there was a period, John, in the 1990s when Nick Cage was just... everything he touched was gold. And I remember following his career from 94, John. It could happen to you. Yeah. That was the first film I probably saw Nick Cage.
Well, Leaving Las Vegas, he won an Academy Award for that in 1995.
Paradise. I think Dana Carvey was in that with him.
Have a little look.
As you mentioned, Leaving. There it is. Yeah. Spot a mile away. John Lovett's. It was a good film. I remember seeing it on a plane. I think I was going to Tenerife at Christmas and this was on. I went, this is quite interesting. And 5.9, it's not great rated, but I thought it was okay.
It did win an Academy Award for Leaving Las Vegas. That's the one with the alcoholic, isn't it? Yeah.
From the
alcoholism.
Yeah.
So that's where he was at, Stephen.
Yeah.
When he was getting...
And you get The Rock,
Con Air,
City
Face
of
Off.
Angels, Snake Eyes.
So, I mean, he was a bona
Con Air.
fide fucking action hero at this point, off the back of an Academy Award win. He's off of Hollywood royalty and the Coppolas. This guy was in a great place in the late 90s and he was getting eyed to play Superman. You imagine, Stephen, we can go off into like a sort of alternate reality here. What would have happened with his career if Tim Burton had released that Superman movie? It was a huge hit and he was now Superman. Where his career would have went, don't get me wrong,
probably
would have
wouldn't have
lost.
got some of the films,
But I think that's a good thing because some of those movies are not very good. Some of them are actually decent. I actually don't mind the early 2000s Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Like, I'll shill for Nicolas all day long. I think he's a great actor. I says it time and again. People like to laugh at this guy. They don't realise how knowledgeable he is and how good an actor he truly is, man. I mean, Lord of Bob is amazing. One of the greatest opening sequences ever.
Yep.
Ant Bully not so much. World Trade Centre.
I've not seen that.
He played the fireman, the policeman. I think it was a firefighter.
Yeah,
police officer.
5
was
years
right.
after. 5 years after the
It wasn't great.
The Wicker Man.
Wicker Man was dreadful.
Yeah, but do you know something, John? We say it's dreadful, but 3.8 out of 10 it's dreadful. But Nicolas Cage isn't the problem in these films.
Shit.
You know, when you think of these moments in these terrible films as well, they're always great. You know, just with him. But everything else around it is awful. You know.
But even with Nick, Steve, when he is going through sort of lulls, he always pops out with some
another
brilliant film. Even in the midst of some less than stellar movies, you've got Kick-Ass, you've got Knowing. He'll go through a little dip and then
Maybe
bang, he's back again.
Ass kick. Fucking love that character.
He always a fucking great character. I mean, look at this, Dying of a Light. He's had some real low points in his career, but then bang, he comes back.
Yeah.
That wasn't 2016, I don't know what you're talking about
Snowden. I don't remember him being in Snowden. I reviewed that. That was my first review. Was he in that? Can't even remember.
I've never seen it, Stephen.
Yeah.
But he's had some brilliant movies, man. What I'm saying is it could have been different for Nicolas if he'd actually had that chance. And ultimately, I can understand Tim Burton's sort of butt-hurtness, if you like it. A character he'd poured so much into, a vision he had for this story. In a sense, maybe doing for Superman, but he did for Batman, taking it off in a different direction, giving it a different vibe entirely. It ultimately didn't happen, and now they're just taking this version of a character that he has obviously got PTSD about not presenting to the world and just flinging it into a cameo.
Yeah.
And it's slightly meaningless. It's just a throwaway moment for fans.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's fan
the whole
service,
AI thing, though, is just a fucking madness he's went down.
Well, you better get used to it, John. I think there's
part
more.
of his soul.
I think there's more of that to come in terms of screenwriting.
Well, I mean, Disney are fucking absolutely going. I mean, I was going to say something there, but it's not really appropriate. It's not a nice thing to say, but needless to say, they're going down the rabbit hole with it.
Yeah.
Taking the likeness of extras, the writing thing. It's just, they're going down a rabbit hole. And it's not good. It blows my mind, Steve. I've still got these sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Strikes. Strikes are still happening with the writers and with actors. What the fuck is going on, man?
This is just
Reaching
going to
agreement.
fire to flame, John. But
if they think they can replace living, breathing
machines
actors,
are going to take over. I'll tell you something. I'm looking forward to this Gareth Edwards film that's coming out about AI and machines. Your man, Denzel Washington's boy.
Oh, is he? I've not heard of this.
What's his name? I always get his name wrong. David
Washington?
Yeah, that's it. That's it, yep. It's,
wow,
I think it's coming out next month. It's
I've not even heard of this.
What's it? The Creator? I can't remember what it's called.
The Creator?
Yeah, the Creator, yep. Good cast, yeah.
Wow, look at that poster.
Yeah.
That is something else.
Yeah, from the director of Rogue One, yeah. Do you not know about this?
I didn't know about this.
No, I saw the trailer the other day. I thought
anything with John David Washington, I'm on
Janney
board.
as well, isn't it? She not
Ken Watanabe.
I can't remember, is she?
Alison Janney, I think she is. I think that was for
Margot Robbie film.
Hi, Tonya.
Yeah.
She played the mother. She was a bastard in that.
Yeah.
That was a great movie as well. What was it, Hi, Tonya? I'm no doubt myself.
I think it was, yeah. It's up there. It's further up.
Hi, Tonya.
Or was it?
I think it was further back.
Further
though.
back.
It's like 2018.
Oh, it was one of the ones that I think you reviewed it, John. One of the
I told you, 2017.
reviewed.
That's mad, Steve. I get little moments like that.
Yeah,
Well,
I
movies.
didn't think it was as far back as
Yeah,
that.
there was a movie I seen the other day. I'm like, fucking hell, it was.
Yeah.
I was
But
fucking
you
7
should
years
probably
ago.
watch the trailer after we're finished, John. It's a great trailer, and
It's some cast.
It looks pretty good. Yeah.
Really good cast.
Yeah.
Ralph Ineson's in there. Wow, right all the way down.
I'm not sure when it comes out. I think it's the end of October. I'm not sure. Middle.
John
end.
David's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's an unbelievable actor. I think he's the same age as me as well.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Yeah,
Think
cool
he is.
cat.
A very cool cat. NFL running back as well.
Oh, you can tell. Guy's
The man's a
he's an absolute unit. Yeah.
And Gareth, I don't think I've seen anything Gareth's done post Rogue One. I'm not going to lie.
No, Godzilla.
Didn't see Godzilla. Had no interest in Godzilla. That's not the Godzilla. I may have seen that Godzilla. I think I did see that Godzilla. I'm thinking about the shit shows that have came afterwards. He's not really done anything post fucking Rogue One.
No, I think Gilroy's.
He's not done a lot of movies, period. He's done nothing since Rogue One.
Yeah,
Gilroy killed him.
He's still tasting that salt on that planet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's that called again?
Crate.
Yeah, that's right, great.
Yeah. But anyway,
The whole AI thing, he's lost me
Yeah.
the AI thing, Stephen. Taking a part of your soul. Fucking bullshit.
yeah, I think there's a bit of butt-hurtness there from Tim, but I think maybe we just don't know the full story in the relationship with him in the studio. Obviously, bridges have been burnt.
Well, I mean, he's obviously a firm advocate for Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's worked with him many times, and we know Johnny's not got a brilliant relationship with Warner Brothers, has he?
Yeah, well, this is it. Yeah. Yeah.
Warner Brothers that
They
put
stick
out
together,
The Flash
yeah.
with a notoriously fucking eccentric, neurotic leading actor, but they ditched Johnny for much less.
Yeah. We did
Well
get
done, Warner.
Mads Mikkelsen, didn't we?
We did, yeah, he came in,
was-
he's alright.
John, I watched, talking about Mad Mikkelsen, I know we're going off on a tangent, but we've only got one topic to go anyway, but I watched Indiana Jones.
Oh, did you? Did you see it?
Yeah, I went to see it, and nah,
No.
not for me.
What's it
was
called again? The
weird,
Dial
John.
of Destiny?
Dial of Destiny. I had real
That's the
issues.
biggest disappointment I've ever faced in my life.
I
that
had
movie.
real issues with the logistics of the film. A lot of it filmed in Glasgow, the red tenement buildings, as you know, John, which looked great, don't get me wrong, but it just looked like they were always in that same street with every scene. Travelling through alleyways and then they'd appear and it just looked like the same street they were back.
It's Glasgow.
It's terrible. It just, I think it's because I know the logistics of the sort of...
Take a show.
And I'm like, I know where they're heading here. They're going down to fucking W.H. Smith.
It's like World War Z.
And now they're in fucking George Square.
Yeah,
I'm
George
like, this
Square.
doesn't make any sense.
World War Z,
You know?
when you've got fucking Brad Pitt driving down from George Square, Bobby Petter's walking by here
Yeah,
like this, takes me out of this movie. I'm sorry. That's Bobby Petter in a fucking tank top.
Supposed to double up as Philadelphia. Philadelphia. But
Deary me.
yeah, so I
Deary
kind of it did take me out of the picture a little bit, and I just felt the CG wasn't great either. The first 15 minutes of the film was like
concept
was young Indiana, if you know what I mean. I say young, probably in his 50s.
I think it was right. I think it was set during the original 3.
Yeah,
I think it would have been about 40.
Yeah, Toby Jones, is it you call him?
Yeah,
is
a
in it
little
as
midget
well.
guy.
Yeah, and yeah, that was just CG heavy. It was just absolute CG. I went, nah.
Really disappointing. No, I remember reading the script that got leaked. Operation Paperclip, I think it was. Was it Paperclip?
Yeah.
Or was that the one with Ben Kingsley? I don't think so.
No, Ben King. That's weird. Talk about taking you out of the picture.
He was playing a guy, he was playing Adolf Eichmann when he was my age, in his 70-odds, and they didn't de-age him.
No.
I'm like, wow, this guy's meant to be...
You can do that right. We saw that in the Five Bloods. They can do it right, but they totally done it wrong in that film. It just didn't look... I just kept looking at him. I was like, I'm not even paying attention to the story. I just keep looking at this guy's face. I'm like, he's not in his 30s.
Operation
Weird.
Finale.
Yeah.
Where is he? Come on, Ben. I love Ben Kingsley, I have to stress, but holy...
He's an amazing
fuck
actor,
sticks.
John, but no.
Holy fuck sticks. Let's bring this up.
No, that's
Playing
not
a
right.
guy my age here.
Yeah.
He's my age.
Yeah.
He's had a face transplant. If you've seen people who have had face transplants, and there's not many, I think there's been about 2.
Yeah.
They look like that.
Yeah, Nick Cage and John Travolta.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Yeah, exactly, Stephen. But it was done better than that because they actually looked all right. In reality, you've got 21-year-olds getting 50-year-old guys, dead guys' faces, and they look like that.
That's weird.
Yeah, I mean, fuck me, Ben. What were you thinking?
Paper round.
He certainly did. He's a Nazi, so I mean, it kind of makes sense.
I know they say the war ages you, but come on,
don't age fucking weasels like that.
Doesn't double your age.
I digress, Stephen. I was making the point. Paperclip. It was a drop ball because it sounded so great. You've got Nazis infiltrating. Top scientists being brought over by America and the Soviet Union. Had to think there.
Czechoslovakia.
Czechia, they're calling themselves now. And just the concept of these guys being there, Nazis being in the States legally, and how that's rubbing obviously India up the wrong way. It was such a promising concept, but sadly they just have to foist Phoebe Waller-Bridge in as the sort of...
she was okay.
Yeah, but it's not indie, and you're going there for indie.
She was the sort of muscle in the film.
That's the point. You're going for fucking indie, and the guy's 80.
Yeah, he's doing that running, and I'm like, nah, come on. No, it's like Samuel Jackson and Captain Marvel again, and you're like, nah, this just doesn't look right. Or Al Pacino trying to get out of a chair.
You know what the problem is, Stephen? It all stems back to Hollywood trying to rebuff ailing franchises or long dead franchises.
Yeah.
Hugely successful Indiana Jones, the trilogy, should have left it there. Didn't need another movie. They try to bring it back with that Kingdom of the fucking Lost Skull or whatever, the Crystal Skull, and then they fuck that up and then they try to redeem themselves and they make it even worse.
Yeah, it's like the Terminator, the last two Terminator films.
Yeah, just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Leave it.
You could say maybe the last 4 Terminator films.
I would. Yeah. I mean, I like Salvation.
Yeah.
I did.
But they should have left it too.
But it should have been 2.
Yeah, they just don't know when to stop. It's a cash cow, John.
The only issue with Salvation was it had your man in it. And I like the guy, but he was everywhere.
And I love
you know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Is that?
The guy who was in Salvation. He was in Avatar.
Yeah.
Forget his name.
Worthington.
Sam Worthington.
Yeah.
Fucking everywhere.
Man in a Ledge. Yeah, he was in everything at one point,
People were comparing him to Tom Hardy. What the fuck?
Tom Hardy was in everything at one point as well. I think it's just that sort of at the forefront, isn't it? You just get actors that are like that. They're in everything at once, you know, and you kind of get tired of them. Certainly with Sam Worthington, I did.
We seen Salvation in the theatres, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Really well shot.
Yeah,
choreography was amazing.
I think he's called MCG, but I call him Mick G.
Mick G.
Yeah. I think he did music videos. I think he did that. Why Don't You Get a Job? Do you remember that song?
No.
Can't remember who sang it. I think he directed that one. I can't remember who the band were. Yeah. American. Yeah. What was it called again? They did Pretty Fly for it. The Offspring.
Oh, the Offspring. Yeah.
Yeah, he did the video for the Why Don't You Get a Job.
Oh, I know one song from them.
Oh, you know 2 now.
Pretty Fly for a guy. That's it. Unten, Grieben, Alten, Loben.
So we're going to move on, John, anyway, to our next
tangents galore here.
Me, baby, yeah. I did like that song. I did like that song.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
John really liked it.
I did. That was my era.
John, we're going into gaming news. Yeah.
There was another one that I was trying to think. It's now left me again. It was a song from back in the day. The Discovery Channel, You and Me, Baby, Ain't Nothing But Mammals. We were speaking about this last week, I think.
Oh,
you remember that song?
No.
The Discovery Channel. Do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. Do it again now. That was that era. American Pie.
Yeah.
We were talking about your man, the stiffer.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That was the song. I couldn't think of it at the time.
End of an era.
Came to me.
End of an era, but talking about eras, John. Talking about periods in time.
Should be the end of a fucking era as well.
GTA 5 turns 10. The impact and legacy of Rockstar's biggest game and why the sequel is taking so long. Why is it taking so long?
Why is it not here? I read an article. People went through high school. They went through college.
It's crazy. Yeah, it is.
They've now got jobs. They've got kids.
Yeah.
In the time that's took this.
It's funny, John. A lot of the songs that they played on the radio in the game that were just out are now on again Rock Classic. Radio station. That's how old this game is now. And we were talking about trying to get into the online and the bottlenecking that it caused. We were still on 360 at the time, weren't we? It was before the Xbox One dropped, and could not get in. I think you get in and I couldn't get in, and then I could get in, you
That
couldn't
was
get
crazy.
in. I was like, oh, this is...
Yeah, you get stuck in the tutorial. You couldn't get through the tutorial thing. There's all the songs here. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I think there's a...
Action.
What's
Action Bronson. I actually know one song for that guy, and it's actually a really cool song.
What was the one that... I can't remember her name now.
Kendrick
That's terrible.
Lamar.
Rihanna. Rihanna, yeah. Rihanna, yeah. That song was just out at that point, I think, perhaps.
What was the song again? This is all different fucking stations.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
you get the sort of classic stuff like All Saints, or I'm saying classics, Jamiroquai.
Only Girl in the World.
Yeah.
Only Girl in the World.
Yeah, that's the one that stands out for me. I think there's an ELO one in there, perhaps Devil Woman. Is it? I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, John, a great game. 10 years on, Rockstar. It's one of the video game industry's most celebrated studios, famous for Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, and other huge franchises. That one that get banned. A few other developer command the same hype, and the unprecedented success of GTA 5 has made a long wait for GTA 6 even more painful for fans. 10 years ago, on 17th of September. This is a day ago because it's 18th now. In 2013, Grand Theft Auto 5 debuted on shop shelves. Even by the standards set by previous entries in the iconic video game series, its success, both immediate and long term, could not have been anticipated. All these add-ons they've had over the years as well, John, and the upgrade.
So you get a subscription service. You have to fucking pay to play it online now.
They've actually upscaled the actual game as well. It's transferred over to next generation consoles from the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One, now to the Xbox. I'm just saying Xbox, X, but obviously PlayStation comes into it as well.
Yeah, it was 3, 4, 5 now.
Absolutely crazy, and still the same game, but it's still a stunning looking game.
Yeah,
it really is. Fastest entertainment product in history to make $1 billion, £792 million that is, and the most profitable ever made. GTA 5 has since sold an astonishing 185 million copies and earned publisher Take-Two a reported $8 billion. That's $6.4 billion in pounds in revenue.
I remember when it came out. I remember the fucking mania.
Yeah.
Because it had been a long time.
Yeah.
I think it had been about...
Well, GTA 4 was 2006, maybe 2007, 2008.
So it wasn't as long as we've waited now, but it was long enough that people were
5 years or something like that, wasn't it?
And the story, I remember it was a fuss for the story, because traditionally in GTA you play the one character.
Yep.
Also they split it into 3. I'm not even on the screen here, by the way, I'm just talking.
Yeah, you had Michael, Trevor and...
Franklin,
yeah.
Yeah, and it was such a unique idea, and then bikes and stuff like that. I don't know if they were reintroduced. I think they may have been in previous ones. But the fact you could do wheelies, it was in LA.
Yeah.
Huge map by the standards. I think
massive,
it was like 3 times the size of previous maps. I remember the mania. And I remember the fact they introduced the online thing. It was just, it'd never been done before. What I had, because we were on GTA 5.
John, I talked about this though, didn't I, to you about a month ago?
But it was like games, wasn't
I went on to GTA 5, you had to pick an actual mode.
Yeah.
It wasn't just free.
It wasn't open.
It wasn't, it wasn't just like freestyling it. And also there was a voting system. So if majority of the people in the game, in that group didn't like the game we were in, they would reset it to be another mode. And I didn't like that. Didn't like it at all. Didn't have the sort of ammo shops that you got as well. The actual weapons were just like spinning,
just sitting in the
hovering in the middle of the road.
Street.
Yeah,
it was mad. It was an evolution, Stephen. And obviously now they've took it and ran with it. It's almost a separate game now, isn't it? GTA Online.
Yep.
It's its own unique entity. And to be fair to them, man, they've continued to... What would you call it? There's a name for it. They do it with DVD and games like that. They've continued to service it. That's the best thing I can think of just now. Evolve, and obviously give new content to it. Also, you're paying for it, so you're not getting it for free. I think you do. I think you actually have to pay now for some subscription to it. I don't know if that's true. I've not played it in a while, to be fair.
It's been a while, John.
But obviously through...
Maybe a couple of years now.
We had fucking Xbox Live, didn't we? So we were getting it through that.
I mean, I kind of swayed more over to Red Dead Redemption 2 for a good chunk.
I mean, that's the next evolution, isn't it, Stephen, and Rockstar?
You know, John.
Yeah. I think I've been back since then, since I had COVID. It just fucking scarred me mentally. Lying in my bed, falling asleep, and then waking up. And I thought I woke up, but I think it's since...
I do watch Slimmies. He's doing some Red Dead Redemption 2, some really good stuff. I don't know if you've watched any of it, John.
No, I've not. He's
a twisted sod. Oh, he's evil. He's evil. I'll need to show you this
Steve,
video.
you can't be any more evil than us. The shit we used to get up to in these games and indeed in Red Dead. I mean, I'd go about like Saint Denis just smacking people about, stabbing them, getting chased about with the police.
Yeah.
Just causing absolute
chaos. You
chaos.
used to hunt down the little Soonest character, didn't you?
Yeah,
on the
GTA,
bike.
yeah, and shoot
Used
the tyres.
Yeah, it'd
But
be
you'd get quicker, the bastard. And you'd be chasing him
His
about all over the
balance was
place.
something else, yeah.
That's what it's all about for me, GTA. I spoke about it, Stephen, before we came on GTA 5. Still to this day, I've never completed the mission.
No.
Or not the mission, the story.
Yeah, the story mode,
Single player story mode. Because I just go off a rabbit hole. Once I've got a certain amount of money, I just go off and start killing people. I don't know what that says about me. Again, you need to remember, I do share a personality type with Joker.
If it's any consolation, John, on Red Dead Redemption 2, I do sort of favour taking a random, tying them up, putting them in the back of my horse, taking them up to a mountain and throwing them off it.
I like to do that and throw them in the water.
Yeah.
Twisted.
You watch them drown, that's
very
right.
Twisted.
Yeah.
Very, very twisted.
And then once they're drowned, you'll shoot their limbs off.
Shoot their limbs off. Yeah, that's something I discovered very quickly, that if you shoot the head 2-3 times, the head goes.
Yeah.
You shoot the arms, they go. So just that's the next evolution, Red Dead. And this is what I want to see moving into GTA 6. I want to see all the elements that work for GTA 5, work for Red Dead. This massive sprawling world, single player, where every single character near enough is living, breathing, doing its own thing. Not literally, but in Red Dead you could follow someone and they had rationale almost behind what they were doing. They were building the railroads, they were eating the food and it was actually disappearing as they were eating.
Yeah,
it's mad. The detail was incredible.
You can actually get into shops.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the burger shots you got
in
GTA 5. You just saw the sort of reflection and you couldn't actually get into the building.
Well, this is something I was going to get on to, Stephen. Also, this article here, it confirms something that you've wanted in a while. Apparently the amount of enterable buildings in the next GTA is going to be unbelievable.
The Malibu Club
restaurants, apartments from sets of interior. Apparently there's going to be loads and loads and
you
loads.
could get into the supermarkets, couldn't you?
Yeah,
you could do that before.
But I think they're going to put it on steroids for this next
Multiple
instalment.
cities maybe.
Well, that's what I'd love to see, but I think there's talk it's going to be Vice City again. And the Malibu coming back, that's what I'm about. I want to see where that's at just now, because I always remember the famous dance. I used to go in there and commit.
That was set in the 80s, wasn't it? Are they going to get back to the 80s? Is this what they're going to do?
I hope it's modern day.
Yeah.
Maybe even the future. Add a little spice to it.
Yeah. See how the Malibu Club is holding up in the 21st century.
But I went down a rabbit hole with this, Steve. Female protagonist, Lucia.
Yeah.
This is something that people have been wanting for a long time.
I've seen the video, John. Yeah, the video's impressive.
I've not seen it, but I tell you, looking at that looks as though it's a graphical improvement that is significant. You look at GT 5 here.
You look at Carol Johnson.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, fuck. It's just monumental.
Yeah.
You look at that and then you look at this. That is multiple levels up. The detail.
Tommy Vercetti. Yeah.
Tommy Vercetti, remember him? Fucking hell.
That shirt. Yeah.
Oh, God. Block hands.
It was the one from GTA 3. People thought he was Tommy Vercetti, but it was Carl or something like that.
It was the Russian-Ukrainian geezer, wasn't it?
No, from 3, I mean.
3?
3, go back to GTA 3, the one before Vice City. I think his name was Carol or something like that.
Oh, I'm thinking about GTA 4. That was the Rusky guy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What was he called again? Because you went up to the shops dressed as him one time.
Yeah, allegedly.
Well, you took a photo and showed it, sent it to me, that's for sure. Tracksuit bottoms and brown leather shoes.
Yeah,
with a leather jacket.
A leather jacket, yeah. I took the photo, but I didn't actually set it.
Tripolowski video, pretty much.
What was his name again?
Tripolowski.
Can't remember. There's no place like Lohan. It is just up the road. I'll show you there when we get there.
You sound like James Earl Jones. I can't remember. I can't remember what his name was. I'm going to search it.
Yeah, I think you better, John, because I can't remember.
What was the fucking...
Nico Bellic.
Yeah. Did you see it there?
Yeah, I just saw it at the
Nico
bottom.
Bellic. Nico.
He was some man, wasn't
he? He was some man. He was a character. GTA 3.
GTA 3, it was, I'm sure it was Carl.
Lance Vance as well, remember him?
Yeah. And you had some pretty big actors doing the voices for a lot of it.
What was he called? What was he called? Let's see. Where art thou? Wherefore art thou? Not going to get it, am I?
Yeah, you might.
Catalina.
There you go. It's Claude.
Claude?
I said Carol. It's Claude.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people thought that was Tommy Vercetti, but it wasn't.
Tommy Vercetti was GTA
Vice City.
Yeah, Vice City. Yeah. Vercetti was amazing. Steve, for me, that's still the greatest.
Vice City, yeah.
To this day, in terms of story and just the setting, it was just epic, and that's why I'm buzzing for them to get back to Vice City. I was going to frame this though, Stephen and Ashy. Do you think with this 10-year gap that there's a danger we go down the sort of rabbit hole that Bethesda fans are facing just now with Starfield, where it is a fantastic game, but it's been that long that there's just no amount of work and just brilliance that they could have crafted into that game that can appease people after waiting so long for a new world. It's not Fallout, it's not fucking Skyrim.
That was one of the sort
After
of novelties of GTA, wasn't it? The sort of free roam, which you're getting in most games now anyway. I don't think so, John. We got it in...
You think we could have a first flop of GTA?
Nah, I doubt it. I've got every faith that they'll succeed. But I get what you're saying, John. It's not... They can't rely on the novelty factor of free roaming in a big world, a lived-in world now. But again, I've got confidence they'll get the storyline right, and I think that's a big part of GTA. You mentioned it there with Vice City, John. Not the greatest graphics now, very dated and probably unplayable for if you're used to modern gaming, but the story stays with you. Red Dead Redemption 1, the actual single player, I've loved the storyline to that. Can't remember the guy's name now. John. Can't remember his second name. But I just thought it was very intriguing. It was almost like playing out like a film. And it's the same with that. I think Vice City was very much like a Goodfellas or something like that, you know, just that sort of mafia thing going on. And I loved it. I loved the characters. And we said they get the actors in, big actors. I think Ray Liotta was probably one of them as well. Just it's incredible what they do. You know, I've got every faith they'll get it right. But the novelty factor of free roaming is away now. Most games are doing that now. Well, they were doing it. What was that game you had, John, for the Xbox 360? It was the first one.
Far Cry?
No, the one with the big pimp coat.
Oh, Saints Row.
Saints Row. I mean, that was a great game. The graphics were stunning, but I still longed for GTA.
Oh, what colour was that pimp coat?
I think it was purple.
Oh, fucking even to this day, I love purple.
Yeah, a big feather hat.
Yeah, I just love the colour purple. I don't know what it is with purple. There's just something about it.
I just remember you going in that parking lot, just strolling up with your guns, walking in the middle of the road. And
it had to be like a Samuel L. Jackson pimp coat character, because that's just me all over. I
think the hat was lime green or something like that. It was almost
even now, man.
Joker-esque.
I play DVD. I play as God, what is Adam? I think his name is. Is it Adam? I think it is. Purple hoodie, just purple hat, the fro coming out the sides of it, camel trousers, just terrorising people, fucking moonwalking all over the place. That's what I'm about, man. The most colourful shade of purple I can get my hands on, I'm going for it. But yeah, man, it celebrates 10 years, Steve. I don't know. I mean, how long's too long for a single game? I think they've evolved it that much now. It's almost became, as I did say, a separate entity.
Yeah.
It's an online-only game now. The single player's really been forgotten about, but it has spanned 3 generations of consoles. It's ever present on PC now. They've modded it. You've got these role-playing servers. It's a huge part of so many people's lives, this game. It's spanned generations, for fuck's sake. It's been out that long. And it is revolutionary. And the money it's took in and just the way it shook up the genre. But now, as you did say, Steve, moving into potentially GTA 6. Yeah. Grand Auto 6. Grand Theft. Yeah. Grand Theft Auto 6.
Somebody stole the theft.
Stole the theft, yes. Stole that many cars. I've just took the theft out now. It's just Grand Auto.
John, in terms of GTA,
they're going to have to do something equally revolutionary.
But they do that though.
Because you get The Witcher, you've got games like Baldur's Gate.
Rockstar, I don't think they concern themselves too much with games out with what they do, but they're always prepared and they're always ready to better the last version of a GTA game, and they've always done it. If you look at it, it's always the returns are fantastic. And GTA 5, I think if you did a comparison with when that was released and what it is now, 2 different games. Yeah. 2 different games in terms of missions and graphics and additions and characters and just everything, just these little tweaks that make it so different.
I think ultimately, Stephen, it comes down to just how complex the games are, the storytelling, the voice acting, bringing in A-list caliber actors to do these characters, the rights to get all the songs in to make it as immersive as possible. Everything about it, much like what we've seen with obviously fucking George Lucas, guys like James Cameron, waiting until the technology's at such a place where the next evolution in this sort of franchise is going to be the best it can possibly be, they'll be taking all that into account before they bring out the next game. They don't want to just bring it out after 5 years. The graphics are the fucking same, and it just feels like a 0.5 iteration. They'll want to make sure it is knocking your fucking socks off.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's incredible graphically. They've got the best acting talent they can possibly get. They've got all these incredible songs. It's an immersive. Well, I want to see them implementing VR.
Yeah,
because I've got the VR headset and I never fucking use it unless I'm kidding on an F1 racer.
That'd be pretty good though. Yeah,
it'd be amazing to get VR in, man. Make it first person, just go about
walking about the streets,
destroying people left, right, and centre,
punching people. Yeah,
the Series X has got XR, the VR hasn't it?
Yeah, it's got the capabilities. Yeah, not tried it yet though.
Oh, you need to go on it, Stephen. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
there's some amazing things there, possibilities. In terms of gaming, you've got the fucking lightsaber things. You can get fit. I say that, I've not actually fucking put it on in so long. So, so many capabilities, but I don't use them.
Yeah,
so I'm a lying bitch. But yes, time will tell. Yeah. I'm looking forward to GTA 6 when the news starts dropping. Female protagonist. I was going to speak about that, Steve. I've spoke the legs off it so much though that we've actually ran out of time here. But just, well, we've evolved as a race, series of races, as a race, a human race, where we can now have a female character, a female protagonist in this franchise, and you've not got just, I don't know, idiocy and stupid remarks being made. Yeah. It feels like we've evolved, much like James Bond has evolved, the fucking characters from being just romantic subplots, something for 007 to kiss, into actually fully formed characters. But the same with GTA now, we've actually got a female hero in it, so that's a good evolution for all of those.
My character in Red Dead is female, as you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's getting back to Dead by Daylight. That's what I like to do. Starfield, I've got some sort of fucking pixie style rocker character. Clearly, I just like to destroy people with what, I don't know, female character. I don't know why. Maybe there's some weird kink in there. I don't know. Maybe somebody can look into it if they're a psychologist. I have no idea. I digress. So that's going around the Upstein. That's an hour and 15 minutes.
Incredible,
yeah. Incredible. Me going off in tangents about fries to go and Ben Kingsley in Nazi uniforms, kidding on he's in his 30s.
Try 3 topics on Wednesday, John.
No.
And see if you can
do a disaster.
14 minutes.
Absolutely no chance. I stretch 5 topics out that far. I wouldn't last 25 minutes with 3 topics. That may be a good thing, the way my voice is going. I don't know if I'll be able to speak on Wednesday, but we'll see. I'll drink copious amounts of water and I'll keep popping. Yes, what I feel. I can't fighting, does the presentation.
You can sport your yellow dungarees.
What's your thoughts though on Triple R director S.S. Rajamouli presenting, they are suggesting, which is a fancy way of saying producing, an Indian cinema origins biopic as we call it here, but we're becoming Americanized, so everything's Americanisms. Biopic. Yow. What's your thoughts on it? Share your thoughts down below about who could direct it, what could it be about, will that movie from 110 years ago be the sort of starting point for it? Fucking should, because it's the first Indian movie ever made. So if you're going to do it as a biopic, then it should be that. Share your thoughts down below about that, about Tim Burton slamming Nick Cage's cameo in The Flash and getting down a rabbit hole about AI and potentially his mind reflecting that fucking crazed hair that he possesses. Share your thoughts about GTA 5, 10-year anniversary was yesterday, where the game is, what the future lies, where the future lies for GTA. Anything you feel compelled to share can go down below in the comment section. That's the place to put your thoughts. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get notifications straight to your eyeballs on YouTube. Follow button over on Twitch, notifications button over there. Like and follow the podcast on Spotify. All that's left to be said is thank you once again for coming in. Thank you to the Observer for commenting at 3:41 AM his time. Lord knows what time it was here, probably 11:41, or dare I say it, maybe 10:41. We've been going that long. And until the next time, me, Steve, are done. Bye. By the way, I know no one understood me there. Keep getting comments. I can't understand you shouting with block caps. I know. I don't fucking care. Bye-bye.